Hey, this is Cameron and welcome to the reaction log. Whoa. It's a reaction log, but this is something a little bit different here right now. So, as you guys may know, I've been in grad school, and I've been around a lot of other guitarists, and I've also just been working on this even before grad school. But rest stroke, it's a thing. I've been working on my rest strokes a good bit. It's really sick when you can bust out like a 170 BPM, really clean, crisp rest stroke, 1-octave scale. In the music that I work on, it isn't particularly useful. Like, you basically don't need to be able to do that at all. But I don't know, isn't it just freaking sick if you can do that? So, I've been working on that, probably more than I should have been. And let me actually give you a little bit of a rundown of what we're doing here. So first off, I'm a classical guitarist. You guys might know that. What does that mean to be a classical guitarist? I'll let you guys answer that in the comments. Just to give you some history for me with my rest strokes. I started playing classical guitar when I was 19. So I played a regular person guitar before that, switched to classical when I went to university. Now I'm in a master's degree, still for classical guitar. And I'm 27 now, so it's been 8 years or so since I've been playing. Still not quite the 12 years required, but I think I'm actually on track to meet the 12-year figure. Let me play that really quick.
A rock and roll guitarist can be turned out in 12 hours flat. The classical player must devote at least 12 solid years to patient study. You pays your money, and you takes your pick.
Yeah, I don't know, in 4 more years, I think I'll pretty much be there. But until there, we have a few things that we need to work on. My rest stroke is not good enough. So like I mentioned, I started when I was 19, and free stroke was my main focus. Free stroke is just your main weapon, I think. It's what generally works in most situations, just your IM free stroke. So that's what you practice, right? I didn't really practice rest stroke until I think, if I remember correctly, the beginning or the end rather of 2024, and then like going into the beginning of 2025. So it's been less than a year, and I went from basically not being able to do it at all to where like now I can play some stuff. These are going to be the slowest rest strokes you hear all day. And you know what, actually, before I show you, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to ramble a bit more, because I'm going to talk to you about what I've been doing to improve it, and we're going to do a little more field research here. First, looking at this guy, aerial guitar. He reached a 200 BPM rest stroke, apparently. We'll be the judge of that. Let's see how clean it is. And apparently he got it by realizing how Paco de Lucia, that's how you pronounce it, I guarantee it. Apparently he figured it out from him, which I've seen this name in the comment section quite a bit. We will be looking at him today because I want to see, you know, what is possible with rest strokes, right? And that's what this video is. So, we're going to start with this, and then we're going to move on to watching some Paco, and we're going to see if we can pick up any techniques or anything like that with rest strokes. Let's see where we end up. Alright, let's jump on into it. You know, actually, before I watch the video, maybe I should show you where my rest stroke is. This is going to be a little embarrassing. I've been doing a few things differently. First, I think whenever I did rest strokes, I would always start like with a hovering finger and swing into it. Now I'm finding if I start planted already and even have my finger on the previous string, I think before I would start like raised like that. Raise, raise. Now we're doing that. And instead of doing speed bursts, I'm kind of just doing threes. Just like 16th note. Relax. Relax. Relax more. Fives. Relax. Relax. And I'm noticing pretty good results from that. I feel like my rest stroke is faster and more accurate than it ever has been. So, we're gonna start first with just open G string. Let's start it on 100. Apparently aerial guitar is thrown around 200, so we can do at least half that, right? Let's go up to 120. I'm doing threes and fives, by the way, so I always end up on a different finger. Alright, let's just go right to 140. Screw it. Let's see how high we can go. And this is all just one string. Let's go to 160. It's getting pretty sloppy and uneven now, but we're just gonna try to get there. Oof. Oh my god. Yeah, that's not happening. I can't even speed burst into 160. So that is the cap for that. And honestly, probably like 130 is the real cap, like, that I can do. Alright, let's try 1-octave scale. That feels pretty comfy. And that's actually kind of a triumph too. That's 100 BPM 16th notes, and that would have been impossible like 6 months ago. So, you know, a lot of work on rest stroke. Alright, moving on. 110. 120 perhaps? Ooh. feels alright. I don't know. Alright, 130? Huge barrier here. Wow, I hope these scales are actually clean and they don't just sound awful through the microphone. That'd be really embarrassing. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah. I think that's it right now. I wish I could hear what that sounds like before I film the rest of this video to know if I should be completely embarrassed or not. Post in the comments if I should be completely embarrassed. Either way, there's improvement on it from the last time I did that, definitely. Like, I couldn't even come close to 130 in the last one. Pretty good stuff, and I think that planting and 3, 5, and 7 practice that I was talking about is really helpful. Now, I'm not satisfied with that, and neither should you be. You shouldn't be satisfied with a dinky 130 rest stroke scale. What I want is that 200 BPM Paco de Lucia style rest stroke scale, which I haven't even heard Paco play yet. I just know he has rest stroke scales. We're gonna look at that today. But first, let's get a little advice from our friend here, aerial guitar. What you got?
There you go. That was a good one, right?
Wait, let me hear that again.
There you go. That was a good one, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. It definitely reached the tempo in the middle of that scale. Starts off a little slow, which is very musical, by the way. I feel like that's how you would play it in a piece anyways. But if we're talking about strict 200 BPM rest stroke, where's the cutoff? Like, is the first note at 200 BPM, or do you ease into it? Let's hear it one more time.
There.
Definitely speeds up in the second half. But, you know, I'm just being a hater. That's all this is, really. Regardless, though, what we have there is a very fast rest stroke. So, how do you achieve such a thing? Let's see.
So, that was a good one, right?
I feel like he cut off the beginning notes there. The amount of work it takes for that, like, fraction of a second of something to happen, I'm sure was insane. Yeah, a lot has to go right for... A whole lot needs to go right.
I'm gonna share with you a breakthrough that this could massively improve the speed and the power of your apoyando scales. Because I was...
Dude, I'm sold. What's apoyando, though? I'm just kidding. You don't have to post in the comments. I might not know what picado is, though. It's easier to learn how to play guitar than it is to learn what these words mean, I swear to God. Chopped. Guys, my rest stroke is chopped. I don't know what to tell you.
Looking at the 190 BPM I recorded, and I'm like, yeah, I can almost do it. It's fast, but it doesn't sound very powerful. It's not even close to the way flamenco players sound. Actually sounds very weak.
Yeah, dude, that's the whole point, though. You don't want noisy flamenco playing, do you? You need weak, soft, little mousy classical scales. I know, it's easy to hate on flamenco people, especially because our classical guitar emperor god Segovia said that flamenco is stupid or something like that. He said their hands are noisy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I feel like us classical folk sometimes take what Segovia said and we just kind of dismiss flamenco after that. But you know what? The reality is, their scales are better. And you know what I think the difference is? I might get some hate for this, but when you're playing classical guitar, you're kind of abandoning guitar, right? Like, we all started learning guitar probably just because guitar is cool. Like, a lot of us started on electric guitar, learning electric guitar music because it sounds cool. It's like the cool, popular music. Once you fall in love with it, you can then go into classical music, which is more music for music's sake. Like, it doesn't always sound super cool like electric guitar does, but there's a beauty to it that is learned. You learn to see it, and we're not really thinking as much about the guitar as an instrument. It's more of like, I mean, what Segovia said, it's like an orchestra. You're being a conductor to an orchestra. But I feel like flamenco, when I hear flamenco players play, they're not really playing that same orchestra instrument. They're playing a guitar. And it seems like a lot of flamenco players as guitarists are just better at guitar than a lot of classical players. That's why they have these crazy scales and arpeggios and whatnot. So, you know, the noisy hands of the flamenco players, it might be a little cope, a little jealousy in there. The guitar is so diverse. There's so many things you can play on it. Guitar is so unique in that way that so many different genres like have guitar as a staple of it, to where this music couldn't exist without guitar. And there's so many different styles of music that are like that. I find that the more of those styles you learn, the more they'll aid whatever music you're trying to play. Like, my electric guitar playing definitely helped my classical playing, especially when it comes to left-hand scales and just like harmony on the guitar and everything. There's a lot I wouldn't know without starting on electric guitar. So, you know, as a classical guitarist, maybe it's time to study some flamenco. That might be a good idea. And I'm saying that as the classical hater, so you know that it's real. Alright, that's enough rambling. Let's get into this.
Analyzing it, and I'm like, what is the difference between the scales performed by a classical guitarist and a flamenco player?
This is like the setup to a joke.
I'm like, well, we usually read the score. Classical guitarists usually read from the score, from the page. Playing 16 notes, we're going to accentuate every 4 notes. We're gonna do this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But usually flamenco players don't read. Let's say traditionally. Now they do go to school and they learn how to read.
Finally, they're going to school. It's about time.
Paco, let's say. Paco didn't read music. He doesn't accentuate every 4 notes. If you slow down any of those blazing fast scales from Paco or Lucia, and I'm gonna do a dedicated video analyzing his technique.
Oh, good. I'm glad that he's doing it. It's gonna be way better than mine, I'm sure.
You're gonna realize that it sounds like ta 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 ta, and not very even. Let's say not perfectly even either. So I tried that. I just magically, instantly improved the power and the speed of my scales, and I was wondering why. Why would that make a difference?
I mean, I can imagine some reasons why it might make a difference. There's more accented notes throughout the scale, so obviously the whole like average volume will be louder. There's something there. I don't know. Maybe accent every single note. Have you ever tried that?
Actually harder. If you're accentuating every 2 notes, it's like more energy. But that's not the case. What's happening when you accentuate every 2 notes? I'm gonna try to share what I feel so you can replicate that. What happens is every time you accentuate, you want to think about that like an impulse, like a blood flow impulse. So you are cutting in half the strain on your hand, the strain on the muscles. So let me show you how that looks like.
I'm very curious to see what that looks like. Because he's just going to play the shred scale clip. Yep, it's like that. Boom!
Let me show you how it looks like. We're going to accentuate every 2 notes, and each time we accentuate, you want to make that feel like a single gesture, a single impulse. It's like the only effort you're going to do with your hands and your fingers is this, one time. So it's like, so for me doing this, feels like pam, 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 pam.
Nice. Okay, I think I see what he's talking about. So he's talking about starting with M, accenting M, quieter I. Oof. I have no idea, dude. Bum, 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 bum.
So I can actually...
Oof, 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 oof. You know, this is a really interesting thing because I've been working a lot on 2 different kinds of rest stroke. 1 string rest stroke, right? Like just trying to get that, and then also putting it together in at least a 1 octave scale. I haven't worked much on just 1 string, like trying to get that coordination down. So I think I'm going to start doing that actually, just that little exercise. I can do it a little bit. If I keep it going, it's hard. Yeah, so that's some good stuff from that. I'm sorry if my table is too high and you can't see my hands very well.
Play at 200 BPM like this, look. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of metronome that was. This is what my 200 BPM sounds like. Boom, ba-dum, dum. This sounds more fun though. I need to get that thing. Now this is what I call music, right? It's like this is what we're fighting for, just to be able to shred. Dude, I know this style of practice all too well. Just the like mistakes start over, mistakes start over.
The thing is, I start getting when it is almost working, and because this has been my goal for so long.
Yeah.
You know, I get nervous, but
Dude, thank you for saying that, man. The pressure when you're building this machine and to make it do something so fast and so accurate at this exact moment, even just for a camera, even just for your video, and you know that you can edit it and just stop and start and whatever, it's still hard. Just getting like 1 scale down. Like, you have to put so much training into this machine here to get it to the standard that we're looking for. It's absurd. I'm getting nervous just making this video. I'm freaking out right now. All right.
Done it. And you can see the power is there. So actually, with this technique, I am confident that I'm gonna be able to show you one day over 200 BPM. Let's say 210,
Dude, heck yeah. I can't wait to see that, dude. Hey, you know what? I'm confident too. I'll get to like 160. I don't need 200 BPM. I would like it. Don't get me wrong. But man, 160 would be pretty dope. You know what I really want though? I want a free 160 where I can actually move around, like playing scales all over the guitar, like Michelangelo Badio or something. All right, start here. Moving all around. Like that kind of rest stroke scale. That would be nice. I would like that. I believe in you, man. I want to see that 200 plus rest stroke.
2230.
220, 230. Yeah, dude, you'll be able to play Donna Lee at tempo now.
All the power, but I still need to practice. But I want to share with you every time I make, any improvements. I want to share that because it helps me.
I think we've seen everything we need to see from this. We'll keep an eye on your aerial guitar. I want to see how freaking fast those IM scales get. Oh my god, dude, this is freaking... Hey, it's better than my AI banner. But this is actually kind of encouraging here because we have this guitarist with 1,400 subscribers. Classical guitarist, mind you. But pretty decent views for the amount of subscribers for like almost daily posts that are basically just practice logs. There's a lot of demand for classical guitar that's very encouraging for me and all the other classical guitar content creators out there. Alright, I think that's enough of that. Let's actually look up Paco over here and see what we're dealing with. Because I honestly have never heard a single piece or song or whatever kind of music he's gonna play. So I don't know, maybe his rest strokes aren't actually that good after all. Now I'm gonna have to go ahead and warn you, I know that you guys hate this, but I am evading copyright right now. So I might not show clips that are longer than 10 seconds. We'll see, I'll try to, but if I get a copyright flag, it's not worth dealing with that, so I'll just take them out. So don't get too upset. You can always look up the videos that I show you here, but I'll definitely show you the highlights. So let's see what we got. Paco, is that you? It's the wrong instrument. Just kidding. Sick. Bar chords. We might need to learn how to do that next. I don't know how to play that. It's funny. I try to keep my rest strokes looking sort of like my free stroke, where I don't want to have my hand too far back. I don't know why. I think it's just because I have a free stroke bias. He has kind of a flat palm like this, and then his fingers, it looks like move like that. Let me actually see that again. Yeah, definitely very far back. What's going on, YouTube? So I just wanted to address a couple things because that was a pretty terrible teaching moment from me. What I was saying about his hand being far back, when I play, because I'm a free stroker, that's what I tend to do. My knuckles, like these knuckles here, the one that I punch you with when you leave mean comments and are mean to me, I leave those hovering over the contact point of my nails and the string. And this is for a few reasons. The main one, I think, is to make it easier to swing with your entire finger instead of just moving like this. What I was seeing in Paco's technique, which I think I see a lot in rest stroke default people, is a more flat hand like this, almost like a monkey paw or something. And these knuckles here are hovering over that contact point instead of the big knuckles. So it's like that versus that. This can be bad, mainly because it's tempting to want to hinge from those smaller knuckles because now you have less power. Obviously, Paco gets plenty of power in his playing if you listen. If you actually watch his fingers, you can see them moving from those big knuckles just like how I move, but his looks more like that, almost like he's pushing into the guitar. Kind of interesting. I just wanted to clarify because I didn't say a whole lot about the technique and I just kind of made a passing comment that was confusing if you didn't have all this in your head already. That's what it is. Alright, back to the video. So that's what we're talking about there. That was pretty quick. Doing that with rest stroke is so crazy. I can only do it like legato using picking technique. I feel like I've never worked with classical guitar with that kind of stuff. I've done a lot of that on electric guitar using a pick. But yeah, I'm gonna work that in. I'm gonna be really good at that in 3 months. Stand by, you'll see. Well, I'll tell you this ain't classical music. lot of shredding, a lot of fast, single line, solo shredding. It honestly kind of sounds like stuff you hear from electric guitar shredders. You know, just playing like natural minor, except for when there's a dominant chord, and then just shredding. The difference is, I feel like everybody can learn how to play at this speed, like minus the taste and the feel of the actual solo. But I think most people using a pick or a legato or any technique can do. But God, being able to do it with reststrokes like that, I don't know what that takes. Hey, how about this? This is just a clip that somebody took. Paco de Lucia, picado speed. What does picado mean? Wow, that's really fast. This is impressive. Oh man, whoa. What in the world am I looking at right now? Alright, I'm gonna grab a pick, I'm sorry. I'm just feeling a little inadequate here. Let me hear all that again. Okay. I don't know, I'm just listening to him shred scales, and then I'm just trying to shred scales. There should be an easy way to incorporate a pick into classical guitar. I'll say it. I know that's not very elitist of me, but man, playing with a pick is so much easier. Did somebody really just clip Paco shredding for 18 seconds and they just uploaded this on its own? What a degenerate thing to do. Like, can you not listen to the rest of the song? Like, you'll find the shredding if you just listen to the song. This is representative of our generation. You just want it fast and easy, and you don't want to wait for the song to pick up before you hear it. Okay, I think we get the idea, and I feel pretty inspired to keep working on reststroke now, so I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll make another update like at the end of the semester over winter break or something, because I feel like this is going to take a long time to actually improve on. But I don't know, if you're thinking about working on reststrokes, this is your sign. It's time. It's time to bring shredding back to classical guitar. Because you know what? Again, I feel like a lot of us get started with guitar because we are just enamored by how cool the instrument is, and then we learn how to shred. And then you go to classical, and it's a whole new right-hand technique, and shredding becomes so much harder than it was on the electric guitar. And to me, I feel like being able to shred freely on your instrument is just kind of good for your soul. It's not good, like, musically, I don't think. Like, I think it's pretty unimportant, honestly. Just being able to do it, it represents freedom, you know? And I think we all want freedom on our instrument. So, this is the pursuit. I'm also working on, you know, like, classical tunes as well. Again, not much overlap in there. But I mean, there has to be, right? Like, freedom has to find its way in there. What am I talking about? Alright, I think we can go ahead and wrap up this reststroke log here. So, of course, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Hey, feel free to reach out. I am very tentatively taking on students. So if you're interested in classical guitar lessons, I have a couple of slots open right now. And by that, I mean like maybe one or two. Of course, head on down over to Rootin's Delight for some merch. And yeah. Oh, I think that pretty much covers it for this one. So, I will see you in the next one.